So now I'm looking at the crowd going, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So they bring me on stage. I tell the crowd, I'm shroomed out, bear with me. They laugh at that. And then I start explaining the night. And lo and behold, those 3 people are in the back of the room cracking the fuck up laughing. So I was like, okay, this is different. So I told that, and I told more stories about me, and then I did a couple jokes on shrooms to see if I could pick a chip. It wound up being the hottest 20 I did. That night. I was like, I'm gone, but I'm really having a good time up here. It's like so much, I'm so high that I'm relying on just me.
But yeah, Auxoro means absolutely nothing, for the record.
All right.
So I saw, I was saying when I messaged you probably like a couple weeks ago to come on the podcast that I saw you at the Stand a few months ago.
Okay.
And again, that show was fucking hilarious. I thought there was a funny moment from the audience perspective. There are a lot of funny moments, but like an uncomfortably funny moment where there was a bit and you were doing a jingle and it was fucking hilarious, and I could feel at the same time the audience starting to be uncomfortable, and you just leaned into it. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like,
yeah, man. I think I know what jingle you're talking about. And for anybody that knows me, it's not the Biscuit song. The Biscuit song is retired. It was a Jewish jingle bit, and I know what that does to people. So that's why I did it, because they want to search out for some shit, for some anti-Semitism. I'm not Kanye, sorry.
Yeah.
I like teasing what's around me, and I live around a lot of Jewish people. So, in Bushwick, Brooklyn. So,
have you
gotta make a joke.
Like, how do you know when to lean into something that's uncomfortable or when to just pass over it?
You feel it in the audience. You feel it in the tension in the room. Because somehow, if there's enough of it in the room, enough people have collectively decided to be offended by it. So now that makes me go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the edge. Oh, I feel it. I feel the edge. Oh, this is it. So what do? Do I cower from it, or do I just keep going forward? Because I can't cater to an audience's insecurity, to an audience's right. That's not. I ain't getting in the game to do that. I got in the game to poke and tease and have fun and make fun of. So of course I'm.
So I saw there's a red light on the camera. I'm just gonna make sure it didn't stop fucking up.
Do your thing there, bro. Do your thing there, bro. I'm an interview voice. I'm very.
So it's like there's a tipping point vibe that you get from the audience where if something's so offensive, then it might be a direction that won't end up being hilarious for the point of the joke. But if it's just like a little bit or maybe half offensive, then you're like, okay, there's something here to play with. I can try to win the audience back or play around with this bit.
Because the beauty of stand-up now is, since everybody's all in their opinions and their emotions and everybody's sad and mad. And the beauty of it is you have the right to have this. You have the right to have your opinion. But I also have the right not to give a fuck. Because I ain't getting to the game for opinions. This ain't opinion Def Jam. This ain't opinion jam. This is comedy. So I go, all right, I know they want to pin me as something. They want to call me a phobic. They want to call me a lowbrow, punch down, whatever. So now I have to deliver the joke so well that they want to do it, but they can't. And the only thing they could do at it is laugh and go, you son of a bitch. Oh, that's not supposed to be funny, but it is.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm trying to get.
It's like an involuntary reaction when people can come into a show with these preconceived notions of what they will laugh at and what they won't laugh at. Yeah. And it's funny to see that get blown up in yourself, but also other people around you.
How skilled of a driver you have to be if you're going to drive through a thorn bush and not get pricked. You got to be good. So it's all about.
Also depends what kind of car you're driving, though.
And so that therefore,
if you could fucking whip it around those bushes,
showmanship. Hence, dressing like you want to be, dressing like you want to be taken seriously as a performer. Write jokes, work out the jokes, get on stage every night, 2 times, 3, 4 times a night, working out the bits, working out your strengths, figuring out your weaknesses, making them hilarious. That's the car. So if you know how to whip on stage and not get pricked through a thorn bush, that's the beauty of it. Get offended, nigga, but there's nothing you can really say because this is set up for you to laugh no matter what. So that's what I'm trying to get to. You have to laugh. You want to be mad, but you can't because this is a comedy show. This is what this is about. I don't have an agenda. The only agenda is laughs. I'm not trying to preach to nobody. I'm not trying to be deep. I'm not trying to make a point to get people offended. If your feathers get ruffled, that's on you. Because on me, I was fucking sleep all day playing PlayStation 5, getting ready for these moments. So I know you can laugh. So yeah. Because everybody want to be too serious now. So I'm the guy that goes now.
Yeah. So with that car, at what point did you feel like the car that you were building was like made the leap from just a box of shit, like a 97 Camry to you're cruising in like a BMW, like 2017 BMW, maybe it's used and then you're going to upgrade to like this year model. When did you feel like you were like, I'm driving around a hot whip now. I can fucking start to maneuver and do what I want. And I could see the model from years past, but now I'm driving something different.
Okay, that's a great question. Well, my good sir, it was November 1st, 2021. I did my first show at a rock bar, extremely high on shrooms. So like 2 cups of tea worth. I made the shrooms in the tea. So I got all the shit out.
So like 2 full doses, like heroic doses of
heroic doses of shrooms. I'm talking about wall melting shit day after fucking Halloween last year, right? So I'm fucked up. Threw up twice, and after I threw up, I was more high. So I was like, didn't know 1 from 2. Couldn't sit in my room because the walls were melting.
Yeah.
So I remembered I had a spot that night in Bushwick up the street at Golden Sounds. Auxora, right?
Yeah.
So fucking, I went there. They still had Halloween decorations up, so I'm tripping balls. Matter of fact, this is a good story. Let's get into this. I'm tripping balls. I'm shroomed out of my fucking soul. Like I'm out. Like I am truly high. So I'm walking there. Everything's weird. People don't look like people. I'm shroomed. So Halloween decorations, Hellraiser's up, so that's freaking me the fuck out. I look at the showroom, there's not many people in there, but there's a guy up there talking to shit. So I'm like, I got a minute. I was like, hey guys, y'all gotta give me a minute. Let me smoke a joint outside to try to balance out because I'm fucked up. People laughing, having a good time. This nigga on shrooms, all this shit.
You smoked weed to try to balance out the shrooms. Okay.
Yeah. That's what you do.
So it's like on the scales.
Yeah.
The weed brings the shrooms back to level. Okay.
Basically, if you so goofy, sometimes a good sativa will make some of the goofy and focus out.
Okay.
So for me, I don't know who this else is for, but this is for me. This is a personal experience. I don't know if this is not advice for anybody else to do. But so I'm out there smoking a joint, trying to balance out because I'm high. Because I'm high on shrooms, right? At the same time, a paraplegic gentleman, he had the crutches and rollerblades on. He had spina bifida. He had a real fucked up back. So he had the crutches and rollerblades on. And then he had a homegirl who was in the motorized seat that she could only move her fingers with. She was paralyzed, but she was in the chair. And then there was another lady who was a whole mute, like sounds only came out of her mouth, not words, right? So I'm like, oh, they friends. This is what the fuck this is. So they wanted to enjoy the comedy show. Get the fuck out of here. I'm high on shrooms outside watching this whole thing go down. The guy on rollerblades, he's the dude of the group. So they get the bartender to lift the girl in the motor chair out the chair to a bar stool. So the girl that's mute couldn't explain anything. So Money had to do everything. So rollerblades, crutches. Now he got the girl's motorized seat outside. The motherfucker has to go park it in one of those outdoor, restaurants, post-COVID things. So he has to park it, and he had to parallel. So he asked me to hold his crutches. So imagine my face. Like, this is the wildest shit.
Yeah. You're like, is this guy actually a paraplegic, or am I just imagining his legs melting off?
Is this a fucking what in the fucking Black Mirror?
Exactly.
Is this? So all this is unfolding in front of my face. I help him with the crutches, blah, 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 blah. So now I'm high. I'm now at the point, shrooms, but The weed has made my stomach clear up because shrooms mess with your stomach, so weed helps you with your stomach. So that's how you actually balance out. So now I'm looking at the crowd going, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So they bring me on stage. I tell the crowd, I'm shroomed out, bear with me. They laugh at that. And then I start explaining the night. And lo and behold, those 3 people are in the back of the room cracking the fuck up laughing. So I was like, okay, this is different. So I told that, and I told more stories about it, and then I did a couple jokes on shrooms to see if I could pick and choose. It wound up being the hottest 20 I did. That night. I was like, I'm gone, but I'm really having a good time up here. It's like so much, I'm so high that I'm relying on just me. Like they're not on the same frequency I am. So now I have to introduce this new mindset to these people. Can it be funny? Absolutely. So that's the day I was like, I can really do this. I was basically driving with my eyes closed. That's what I was doing. And
but you were in a good car. You were in a
feeling
Porsche.
the car, like just going, oh shit. Yeah. So that's when I knew I could take it up a notch.
Yeah, literally it started as like a handicap bar joke, like a paraplegic and a mute walk into a bar.
Yeah,
and now I have to do a show on shrooms.
Now I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And they wanted to watch the show. So I didn't want to alienate them, but at the same time I did want to call out elephants.
Yeah.
So to find that line on shrooms, I was like, all right, I'm thinking on my fucking feet now. This showmanship. I can do anything I want. Because this is how I do it. How can you present this? It might be bad, but how can I present it? It might be this, but how can I present it? It might be too deep, but how can I present it? Because I am a soldier of silly. I like it to stay funny. Even if the premise is long and I got to take you down this dark road, by the end of it, it's light. I'm not CNN. I'm not Fox News. I don't have anything but jokes to tell. So that's why I stay on that goal.
Soldier of silly.
I'm a soldier of silly.
Silly
because I watch
soldier,
comedy. Niggas got agendas. Motherfuckers got their things they got to do. That's why they do all these podcasts. And that's how they get crowds just to go with the conversation. I'm a joke writer. You know, I want you to come out to see this new shit I just put together. It's like rap, but not rap. It's like, check how funny this shit is. And then maybe while we're doing it, something else funny will happen. That's the beauty of improv, stand-up. Like that's improvisation. That's on your feet. That's showmanship. So for me, watching how comics move, I love the comics that just go out there and say, watch how funny this shit is.
Yeah.
The ones that come out with special after special after special after special, and it's just funny. And then the ones that do special after special and there's no theme to it, they just funny, different, come on, man. And that's the beauty of it, I think.
It's crazy how that moment happened at a point where you weren't you weren't wearing a suit getting ready to go on the Tonight Shows. You were shroomed out, smoking. You had no reason to expect that this would be a pivotal moment in your comedy career.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what often happens. Like whatever it is, the relaxed moments, the combination of drugs that open your mind to different strains of thinking, different possibilities. There's like there are paths that exist. And for whatever reason, in that moment, everything coming together opens the door a little bit. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
Let me just
that wasn't open before I was on these shrooms. Let me just fucking walk towards this door and
it's
then
like
you just fucking kick it open.
It's the secret level on the game.
Yeah.
The fuck is this? Because you could do it. Like, I love all my friends that did late night, but I don't really think I have a late night act. I'm kind of dirty. I'm very wild. I can't stand in one spot. It's a lot of shit going on.
What even is a late night act? I feel like
a late night spot. Like, you just know how to, like, I call them typewriter comics, the comics that are so good at word economy. I have a lot of friends that have just miraculous word economy. Monroe Martin, Jordan Fisher, Ian Lara, word economy. Rob Hayes, word economy. Like, they get on the set, Andre Thompson, word economy. Like, these motherfuckers know how to pop, 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 joke, pow, pow, like, and they just get them out. And that's those late night sets. Clean, fun. Get into who you are as a person. Get out, letting the crowd know this is what you do. You do comedy. It's like those hot white, those cook like clam, white hot set 5-minute comedy sets that just
yeah.
Me, I like taking. It's like jazz for me because I'm a jazz school dropout. So I see jokes different. They come at different speeds, different levels.
I like that though. I like the build up.
Yeah.
The full story everything is not a laugh, but everything is building up towards a moment which you're going to laugh your ass off. Yeah.
Yeah. So jokes that lead up to bigger jokes all the time. Left turns, right turns, fucking callbacks, tags within tags, all that shit. All that just extra big hot moment call elephants, snapping on people, fucking. But for me, an hour of insanity, like just an insane, and not even heavy act outs, but just fucking rhythmic language. Just knowing how to make somebody laugh. The art of watch this. I'm going to get you to laugh here. Then I'll do some goofy shit and watch you laugh here, but then laugh harder over here because I got something for you. It's just those silly journeys.
So that night on Shrooms, was that the first night that you felt like you were sitting in the pocket of a story? Like that was the thing that unlocked in the car?
No, I was finally not nervous. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Because I was just like, well, they can't go terrible because they're on a frequency that I've given them. I'm up here on Shrooms. I can't suffer and then have to do a show and then watch these people watch me. No. I have to use this high to find what the fuck I'm looking for. And right now, I'm just looking for levity in the situation of I'm up here rolling, but I'm still up here for a reason. There it is. I'm still up here on stage for a reason. I'm not you on Shrooms. I'm me on Shrooms. This is what I can do on Shrooms. I can do comedy. So So I wasn't nervous at all.
Confidence in the individuality of it.
Yeah, just use the high. Don't be afraid of it. Just like, all right, what would jazz do? What would an artist who's high out of his mind playing the trumpet or the saxophone do right now?
Yeah.
He'd find those riffs. He'd find those notes. You just up there. Like, I ain't gonna let the piano player down. I ain't gonna let the drummer down. Granted, that's a band, but I ain't gonna let me down. I'm gonna figure this out. I ain't gonna let the crowd down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's something that I struggle with when I'm way too high. I've never done a full dose of shrooms, but I've been blasted out of my mind, and I hate the feeling of losing control, and then I grab on to whatever reality I'm trying to stay in, and then that makes it worse. What I'm bad at is, it sounds like what you were doing so well that night, which is you're just like, all right, I can't fight the shrooms, I can't fight this moment. I'm just gonna go where I want to go.
I'll tell you where it feels like. All right. Because that control thing, that's the biggest thing. I could never do that. I don't want to feel like I'm losing control. Fine. All right. Now, this is a hell of a reference, but I was just watching it in the trailer one time. I was shooting a TV show. You ever see that movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Now, say shrooms, or you're just up there in that ship, right? But those little thrusters, and it kind of keeps you to where you're trying to go. That's how you got to kind of treat shrooms. You go off too far to one side, you got to kind of keep. So I'm like doing that with the material. Shit, I'm doing that sitting there thinking about it, because you can go into a whirlwind of bad thoughts. Yeah. You can go into a whirlwind of something else because you high. So you in space high, right? So you can go anywhere you want. But for me, I'm like, all right, I'm sitting in this room. I have to do something. I got to tell jokes. I'm zipped out of my brain. But I don't want to fail. I don't want to get lost in space. So I'm going to have to work these thrusters and try to get back to, you see what I'm saying? So it's just, I hate to be like that, but that's what it is. Like, because a lot of people always tell me they would never smoke weed before they got on stage. Or, how can you do that? You're not focused. And I would never do. I couldn't see myself. And blah, blah, blah. And it's a bunch of I doubt. I struggle with doubt. So that's why I get all these goofy tattoos on my hands as mantras to remind me that you could be better. You can be great on this microphone. So it's just like, all right, you can't do it, but now I got to try, because it's a mental hurdle I got to jump.
What are some of the mantras that you got tattooed?
This is a megalodon mouth skeleton to scale, so I can fit my hand, and it says swim and eat. Swim and eat basically means hustle, keep going, because if a shark stops swimming, he dies. So you have to swim. You got to keep swimming. You got to keep eating. You know, and
keep tapping the thrusters. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just
even if you're just coasting, even if
coasting.
Yeah,
but just like, don't stop.
Yeah.
So that swimming mantra is a thing. Just keep moving through, especially in New York. New York's the fucking crazy ocean. So, you know, and then I got, You know, the ODB Charlie Brown, Old Dirty Bastard is kind of my spirit animal. And then I got a stage god on my fingers just to keep remembering. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Call yourself the stage god, so you have to prove to yourself you can at least do well every night. Even with new shit. It's just like, a lot of people think, you know, public speaking is scary. A lot of people think, I don't know how you go up there and do that. Not only do I have to go up there and do it, and I got to do it better than everybody else. It's like,
and you have to elicit a specific response from people in order to be considered successful.
Yeah.
Because I've done public speeches. I used to do this thing called Toastmasters, which is you basically get up and you speak in front of people once a week. You give a speech. Sometimes, you know, someone picks a topic out of a hat, and it's, you know, what would you do if you were going to run for president? What would be your platform in 2 minutes? And you just go up, you have no preparation. And then other times you're doing like a 10-minute speech. But like, even if I got through the speech and people thought it was shit, I still considered it a success because I did the speech. But if you do that and people think it's shit, you're not going to be on stage and getting spots for too long. Yeah.
Like, how can I do that again? So no, it's not even just getting on stage. It's getting on stage and doing well. I don't like giggles. I like belly laughs. That's just my thing. You know, a lot of comics like giggles. The crowd was okay. Because I get a lot of motherfuckers that come to me. The crowd is a little, I don't know if you're going to kill this one. The crowd is, and then I go up there and the crowd be dope. Because I search for something else. I'm searching for something else. I'm not searching for what you're searching for. I'm searching for something else. The bigger joke, the harder pop. If I got to dig down and bomb, we're going to dig down and bomb together, but there might be some gold down there.
Yeah.
I just keep eating. And it's like the crowd is just going to have to go with it. You don't like it? Fuck it. You just ain't going to like me. But I ain't going to stop. I remember I've bombed shows in Philly. And I told the crowd, look, I know y'all don't like it, but I'm going to stay on stage the whole time. So y'all can leave, and I'm going to still stay up here. So it's free to leave. So I'm going to just tell these awful jokes until y'all can't take it no more and walk the fuck out. And I've done that. I've bombed for an hour. Just getting it out. Can't find any light, no fun, very awkward, tense, whatever. But I don't feel like breaking.
That's to me, that's entertaining though, because if your comedy is not always laughter, I'm just speaking as someone in the audience. I will feel like I got my money's worth, or I will just feel entertained for the evening, seeing people do the attempt of comedy. The only thing where I would say that I got robbed of the experience or something, or like just something that I didn't like, is applause. Like if someone's like saying something for like it starts to feel like a rally, and I'm just like, this is. But if someone's bombing for 15 minutes, or if someone kills for 15 minutes, I feel fascinated by both of them. Like, I'm like, holy shit, this person's really doing this.
Yeah,
and
bombing their dick off.
They're bomb, or
doing really well.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with the build up versus that superficial like giggle laughter, because I feel like we were talking about vertical.
You know what giggles are? Giggles is what people do when they're nervous.
Yeah,
they don't know how to fill in the time, so they laugh. I'm sorry. You know how people laugh when something happened? Like, you know how people do small talk and it don't work, or there's like an awkward moment and they don't know how to fill in the awkward moment, so they giggle. But laughter is, they're sure this is funny. Giggling is like, oh, sorry. Like, it's just a time filler. It's a space filler, because for that awkward moment sometimes. I think a lot of people giggle.
It's like obligatory laughter almost. Like that's why I don't really, I enjoy sitting in a lot of different places in a comedy club, but when I'm sitting in the front row, sometimes I feel like I laugh just because I felt like I was close to the comedian and I didn't want them to think that I didn't think they were funny.
The moment lends that kind of encouragement sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know, laughter is the truth. People laughing laughing for real? Like, laughing for real. Move like that? Okay.
Yeah, like you can't control
something.
it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about vertical videos and reels and just like how everything's a clip nowadays. Yeah. And I feel like And I mean, this is with podcasting too, where you're kind of podcasting, but then you're also worried about what's going to be clippable and will this be a 60-second thing? And at the same time, some of the most fascinating moments in comedy and podcasting are like 7 to 12 minute stories.
Yeah.
Do you feel like reels have changed comedy to where people are more formulaic, where it's like da 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 da, laugh, da 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 da, where it can like fit in a reel and you have that pop?
Only because they don't go back and watch the whole thing. They watch the reel, keep it moving. Millions and millions and millions of views off the one joke. Some people don't like to go see where the whole thing came from. And plus, when you put English on English, yeah, I guess that's what it's for. Like, nigga, we're listening to somebody speak English, then we got to read the English. That's what this is about now? Because I notice if you don't have that English on the bottom, you don't get as many views because people like to read shit quietly. So they're not even hearing what you're actually saying. They don't hear the tone. They don't hear the rhythm, but they just see the words. So they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But is it ruining it? You know, clips get you people in asses and seats. So I can't say all the way. But comedy is tougher now because everything is a 60-second sensation. You gotta be funny fast. And the only problem I have with that is there's not a lot of good clips out. These motherfuckers be putting English on shitty jokes. I'm like, y'all gonna make me read shitty jokes in silence too? Like a lot of motherfuckers put these clips out that don't even be hot. It don't even be like a good joke. It just be some matter of fact, ironic. I was thinking some shit, and then some people don't even giggle in the crowd. It's just like, that's what you put out? Like, it's a lot of people just putting out fucking horse shit. If you're gonna put out clips, put the hottest clips. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of stories, a lot of buildups won't even fit in a clip. So I guess that's why a lot of it boils down to crowd work.
That's why crowd work works. You get those clips.
Yeah.
Case in point, the God, Andrew Schultz. Yeah. Schultz figured that shit the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this nigga fucking figured it out, didn't master it. And now he's the master of that game. I go, yeah, all that. Because I swear to God, I want to say that I don't think people start doing that till he did it.
You mean putting out crowd work examples?
Crowd work, but putting English on English. And then
the captions, like
when the
big
captions
shit,
changed everything. And I think he might be responsible for that. I don't know who else might have thought of it, because I know people always make their claims or whatever, but I think Schulte was the dude that could, all right, I'm going to caption this shit, put it out.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone before him, but he, like, in terms of putting out the clips where even the camera's moving back and forth a little bit, like nothing is quite steady. It has the big highlighted text. It's like bam, 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 like no space. There's no fat in anything, and there's no context, but you don't really need context in those cases because, like you said, you're just trying to get people to go watch your full shit or buy tickets.
Big colors and flash is how you sell shit. So that's everything. So take all that, like, you know how, fucking auto sales. Remember old auto commercials? Big flashing.
Cars for kids. There's like that.
But they're saying
building.
Cars for kids as they're saying Cars for kids. So you just see it. So that right there, putting the words next to what you're saying at the same time, it's visual. You use audio at the same time. My God. Yeah. So genius move by that guy.
Yeah. So sensationally overwhelming. So like Schultz does it where it feels like sometimes I see clips and I know that it's engaging, but I also don't know why.
See, wow.
And I'm just
that's
like,
what? Fucking magic trick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'm just like, why did I watch that entire thing? Looking back on it, it wasn't that great, but my brain's just like, I want to keep fucking like riding this wave. Yeah.
Magic. Social media magic, bro. I get it. And I get it, but I'm an old school guy. I do TV. People don't watch TV no more. So I just do it. Keeps a nice little check in the mail. And I like acting. So, and I know acting you can't do in 60-second TikTok. So I guess I'm sacrificing, my social media fame just for old school regular TV and movies. But I like old school regular TV and movies, man. Kill me.
Let's go back to another old school guy, Patrice O'Neal.
That was my favorite dude.
So you said about Patrice, or this was something Patrice said to you. You said that Patrice O'Neal is the only dude in New York that gave you advice that made you the comic you are today.
Absolutely.
What was that advice, and how did that change the way you did things?
Shout out to Cypher Sounds for introducing me to him. At Comics on 14th and 9th, Old Comedy Club, it's not there no more. Patrice was headlining, and I watched him be great. I watched him get a standing ovation as he sat down. He sat down.
He sitting down during the set?
Yeah, sat down during the show, the whole show. He sat down. He didn't sit up. He sat down in a big leather jacket, and he proceeded to do what we know now as Elephant in the Room, but before it dropped. So he's working on the material. Killing. And it's a hot 97 crowd, so it's rowdy. So all these rowdy motherfuckers died down to listen to what he was saying and then went back up because they loved what he was saying. It was poetry that night. I just moved to the city. I was, 24 years old. Jaw dropped.
So this was early 2000s?
Early 2000.
Early mid-2000s, okay.
2009, 2010. Yeah. And
jazz poetry.
Yeah, it was poetry. Like, he was just up there being Patrice and killing. So Cypher introduced me to him. He told me, and he told Patrice, I lived in Jersey City. At the time, I did live in Jersey City. So did Patrice. So Patrice said, oh, you live in Jersey City, little nigga? I'll give you a ride home. And so now I'm blown away. The guy that I just watched dragging a fucking room. And the dude I've seen on the Comedy Centrals, and I keep hearing in the streets, it's rummaging in the streets. He's arguably the best. He's arguably one of the best to ever do it. Just give me a ride home. So push comes to shove in the night, I asked for some advice, and I heard he was like the bully in the streets. Like, this was the meanest motherfucker on the planet. You can't talk to him. So am I going to listen to what all the doubters say, or am I going to just man up and go, hey, Patrice, this is what I did. Hey, man, I was scared of shit, too. You got any advice you can give to a dude? I'm just out here trying to get this, trying to get funny. I just moved from Philly. I moved from South Jersey, Philly. I was a comic in Philly. Now I'm a comic. And he looked me dead in the face. He said, I'm done. I'm old. This comedy's for you. I quit. I hate comedy. That's what he said. He said,
I hate comedy.
He said, I hate comedy. What do you stand up? He's like, this little Cypher Sound shit that y'all do, this for y'all. The don't get gas, this shit for y'all. So if I had to say anything, I guess write prolific shit, get on stage. And he did this movie, went, get the fuck out of my car. Like, why the fuck? Get the fuck out the car. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I got out the car, and then he rolled the window down. He was like, I'll see you around the block, little nigga. And then he spun off, and he went up JFK. And it was just so direct. I didn't feel hurt by it. I wasn't offended that he kicked me out the car. I just was like, I guess that's what the fuck it is, because one of the greatest dudes ever just told me what the fuck it is. I could see if he was bombing. Nah, I watched the dude sit down for 20, 30 minutes and then have a whole crowd stand up for him as he sat down. So I'm going to listen to what he's saying. So I guess get on stage, write prolific shit, and keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Keep getting on places. Keep doing what I just told you. I guess that's the formula. And the formula worked out.
Yeah, to just fucking grab the mic and sit down on stage, it seems like that would be a downer for the energy in the room. But there's like a don't give a fuck energy from it where the crowd's like you don't even have to, be like, hear ye, everyone pay attention. If someone grabs a mic and just sits on a bench and is waiting for people to fucking, tune in, I'm about to say some shit.
He made no noise. He grabbed the mic, sat down. The crowd was going nuts because I think somebody killed before him, right? Somebody went up, murdered, right? So he just sat there, took the mic, and went. And then everybody, and then he murdered him. It was just, and as a young comic, shit, I was only 5 years in at that point. I was only 5 because I started when I was 19. So 24. So I was 5, and I've never seen anything like that before, other than Chris Rock specials and Dave Chappelle specials. Yeah. But in real fucking time, the 5 years I had been doing comedy, I saw so many people kill, but not like that though. I seen people kill standing up. This dude walked there and just sat down, and then proceeded to rock, sitting down. What? In a black room. It was a rowdy urban, like it wasn't like, no, this was real deal. This was a show. This is like Coliseum show. Wild. Circle, theater set, half moon type shit.
And he just fucking took
And
his seat.
and he took him. And he
Yeah.
took him with him.
You have to have the aura about you too to do that, or
Yeah,
you
man.
can't take a seat. People are just gonna be like, they'll look over and be like, all right, and now I'm back to fucking drinking and talking to these people. But you have to be giving off something. And I never saw Patrice in person, but like I could just see from the clips that I've seen from Elephant in the Room. One of my favorite clips of all time is when he did the Charlie Sheen roast.
Oh yeah.
And he says, I wrote jokes on the plane, and he just fucking puts the paper down and just looks at people and tells them exactly what's on his mind. Like Steve-O, William Shatner, and to
when
me,
he told Shatner he was a quasi-racist, that threw me off. I didn't know Captain Kirk, he's a quasi-racist, man. I lost it.
Yeah. And as a big fan of comedy, that taught me that just being authentic can be hilarious. And there's some people that just say things that are on their mind, and it's hilarious to other people. Like they're comics that, whatever you want to do, as long as you're funny, to me it doesn't matter. But I feel like there's some comics where they find a formula and then they learn how to be funny, and they write jokes and they play around with it. And then there's some people that they just, whatever it is, they have a way of saying things that omits hilarity. Like it's so normal to him, but it's so just absurdly funny to other people. And him just like reading a grocery list and just being like, why the fuck are turkey legs on here? So, like him just like observing things. Yeah.
Patrice was great.
Yeah.
And, he was definitely my number one dude when I came out to New York. Like he'll always be one of the guys that made me go, all right.
What was it like making the jump from Philly to New York? You said you came up in Philly.
It was tough. I fell off my horse. New York humbled the shit out of me for a very, very long time, but I loved the game. Because Philly, it only took me 5 years to really move through the city, all the way from open micer to headliner. 5 years. So
that's fucking quick from what I understand for comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. So from open micer to headlining the club that I was doing open mics at.
And then you went from a headliner in Philly to just back in the pond.
Back to the fucking barking shows and shit in New York. So I had to fall off that horse because I was telling a lot of local material fit for Philly. Nigga, you in New York now. You got to change everything up. So sitting down, looking at that, scratching my head a lot, going through life, different experiences, this, that, and the third. You meet new people. New roommates, new problems, new shit to cry about. You going back and forth to your mom's house all the time. Girls, fucking weed, fucking making rent, and then not having a day job no more, quitting, finally becoming a comic. All those years, those 13 years, from the 5 in Philly to the 13 in New York. Yeah, you relearn the 5 that you had. You relearn that. So you take another 5 years in New York to unlearn the 5 in Philly about, local mindset type shit.
Yeah.
And then you take the next 5 to hone in on the 5 you just learned, right? So already that's 15 years. And now, at 19 years in, this next 4, I'm finally seeing those 15 years grow. And I'm starting to take fruit from that and just spitting in the juices and fly fucking shit for these people to listen to now. And I'm at 19 years, so at the 20-year mark, this will be 5 years of, and then the next 5, whatever. Like I can't wait. If I'm around, it'll be even better. Because
that's fucking. It's crazy because it goes against that everything that we're told in school. Like you're 15. You see people going to college, they graduate, then by 27, 28, like I'm 29 now. This is when my 21-year-old self thought that like, okay, I'm going to be an expert at whatever I choose to do. Yeah. And there's one path where you see a lot of people that start to make money and whatever they're doing. Like I have friends that go into, finance, investment banking, lawyers, whatever. And so you see the paychecks and you go, okay, that is equal to being an expert before the time that you're 30 years old. But if you're starting something, like I started podcasting at 24 years old, I wouldn't even dare to call myself someone who was an expert until at least 10 years. Like I've been doing it, like at 35, maybe I'll feel like I had some sort of shroom moment where I fucking, you know, I do a volcano rip and then I take 5 grams of shrooms and I forget that I have someone on the podcast in an hour. I'm like, oh fuck, like, and then I figure it out. But just hearing you talk about the 15-year, you know, 15 plus year journey, it's just like there's some sort of brainwashing that goes on that makes you feel like when you're younger, you have to have it figured out before you're 30. But when you're when I'm in my late 20s, at least, that's when I feel like I'm just starting to figure shit out at what things could be. Like I'm not a complete beginner, but I can like see a path where I thought I was supposed to be like, all right, I'm good now. I can just coast and fucking ride it out, which is not how I feel at all.
Yeah, I know we went from cars to everything, but another mode of transportation, like when you're on a boat, right? And for a long time, you're just going to see water. Vast nothingness.
Hopefully.
And then all of a sudden, you see land off in the distance. And that's that mark where you go, all right, if I can see it off in the distance, I'll keep sailing.
You just got to see that thing in the distance.
You just got to see a little mountain range or something. Just an island hill. And every time I failed, like, and this is true shit, every time I thought I couldn't see anything, something popped up. Like, I was always like, I'm quitting. And then somebody like, ain't you that dude from such and such and such? Yo, you funny, man. Keep at it. Or man, this is my career. And then somebody hit me up on Instagram talking about, yo, man, I saw you in the fucking blah, 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 blah. You know, keep at it, bro. Shit is fly. Or a girl be like, I think you fly. Blah, blah, blah. So right when you quit, that's when you look down and you give up, you look back up, you see something off in the distance. So you really got to just keep at it. I mean, it's a long road. I decided when I started it was going to be a long road because I wanted that kind of funny, that mesmerizing. You get on stage, people jump up before you start talking type funny. Like the beginning of Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker when he comes from the Apollo steps all the way down the stage and the people jump up before he even says anything. That's the kind of shit that I'm trying to get that kind of excitement out of people. Like these motherfuckers jump up before I start talking. Oh, okay. And then after I start talking, they jump up again. All right. Yeah. They done spent their hard work, earned money, got their wife out. The wife got their girls, the bitches out. Fucking people done books and tickets and all kinds of shit. For me? All right, yeah, okay, I got it. So that take a long time.
Yeah, it's like anything, if you're going to do something for that long, if you're going to do something for decades and dedicate yourself to it, there's always going to be these moments that so many people give up on. Like you come to some sort of checkpoint and you're like, fuck this. You know, I felt that with baseball. I played baseball for 18 years, from like 5 years old to 23. And when I didn't think I was going to make it to high school, college, pro, whatever, I always had something that came along. Like someone was like, oh, like you should go play in front of this coach or whatever. Like you should, like something in comedy where someone's like, oh, you should go do the show, you know, play with this team, go check out this school, like see what happens. There's always like, it feels like you're wasting your fucking time in the moment, but then something comes from it. Like I finished pitching and you're like, fuck that, like I did horrible. And then you get a call 2 weeks later and some coach is like, hey, I saw you throw, like, do you want to come check it out? I'm like, wow, shit. I literally just showed up and now shit is happening because I just dragged my body to somewhere when I didn't feel like it. And now it's whatever reason, this person was there, that person was there. I did something decent and now that person is saying I have a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's a lot of those. You just keep stacking on.
Yeah.
And you don't look for a goal. You just keep stacking on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's so funny. Because the whole stack on, go to work every day, that epiphany didn't happen until I started taking acid. So it was sick.
You got the mushrooms, you got the acid. What's going to be the next one?
I think I'm done.
Mescaline?
I'm done with the hallucinogenics, I think. I really like weed because I did acid. I did shit. Here we go. Fast forward. Remember last year? Shrooms, November
The Shrooms,
1st.
November 21.
November
Okay.
21, October 31st, 2022. I did acid and had to do 2 shows at the Cellar.
Psychedelics find you on Halloween.
Yeah, they find me on Halloween. And then I was like,
Spooky
fuck,
season.
spooky shit. And I went up there and didn't bomb. So I found 2 different sets on acid. I'm good at this shit now. But I don't want to go any further than that. I'm done. I think I'm going to smoke weed and just do that because acid was intense. It was more intense than the shroom. So I was like, damn, this is some mental hurdle shit. I got to jump. I did it, but I'm like, I don't want to do that again.
What was more intense about the acid?
Now, what's more intense is you're not worried about anything because your stomach don't hurt. So it's just like shrooms open your head up. Crazy. They do. But acid open your head up even more. Like it's just like it's like it's too many angles and too many perspectives. It's just a lot of shit flying around. Because here go the thing. Before I say I didn't take a tab and go straight on stage. Nah, I took that tab at 1 p.m. I didn't have a show till 10. But it took me till 9:30 to be like, I think I could do this. Because right before that, I was like, I think I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
This shit ain't fun. I am too high. Like my friends was like, yo, calm down. You fine. Like shit like that. Am I gonna make it? Why am I this high? So I went there. Oh, I did. So I'm not saying, I'm a powerful man. No. For a minute, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to I don't think I'll be able to perform night, nigga. I'm seeing too much shit. It's too vivid. All the colors is 2 colors. All the thoughts in my head are too loud.
Brighter and louder than shrooms?
It's just too much. Like, shrooms, one thing. That shit, it was just like, how can I explain it? It's just, oh my God.
I don't think there is a way to explain it.
It was almost lights going off. It was like flashing lights going on behind my eyes. I was like, this shit is nuts. So I finally came down enough. I wasn't even off it to go on stage and not fuck up. And I did really well. And the first show I did, I had these glasses on. They were my saving grace because I couldn't really see anybody.
Yeah. Well, at least you know now that if you're ever at a point in your career where you feel like things are getting stuck, you can reach in your pocket and pull out the nearest psychedelic and try to kickstart something and get to the moment.
It ain't the other drugs. I see what crack and heroin do to motherfuckers. I would never do that. Even as a kid, that shit always shook me up because I watched all them documentaries, all the movies about crack and heroin, but they never made. It was always terrible. Like your arms be all fucked up, get your arm cut off. You a junkie in the streets. You smell like dookie. Stuff like that. But with the psychedelics, them motherfuckers was always cool. They was always on another plateau. They saw shit different from everybody else because they kept going to space. And in my head, I always thought about that because I ain't started smoking weed. So I was like, what, 28, 29? True story. Pete Davidson got me smoking. That's a true story. I was his roommate in Brooklyn, and he kept passing me the joint. And I never took it. And one day I took it, and it changed my whole everything.
One day you took the joint from Pete Davidson, and that changed the trajectory.
The whole trajectory. And I was like, oh, wow. And it was like.
Was it something you guys were talking about that changed it? Was it
no,
in
it was
the moment?
Me, because I had took an edible once in L.A. because a girl that I was quite fond of at the time.
So you never smoked?
Never smoked.
And you did the edible, which it's stronger.
Shit fucked me up. And I was like mad. I was crying. I want to go home. I was with a girl. Telling her, I can't do it. So then when that finally faded away, I swore off edibles, right? But then Pete kept going, try this. It's different. This will hit you different. I was like, man, nah. Then one day, give me this shit. And it wasn't like them cookies. I was like, this shit is fucking fantastic. And then my whole...
If I ever open up a dispensary and I
was already an artist. I was already an artist. I was an artist since I was a kid. In school, I was playing jazz and dancing and, doing all that shit. Then it took me that long to open up the artistry to see whatever else is out there. And then because I was already doing comedy for real, so it was like, when this shit, it was a weird fuel. It just put everything in an exploded view. And then I was like, oh shit.
It's not like them cookies.
Nah.
If I ever opened
a
a dispensary and I was selling flour, that would be the motto. It's not like them cookies.
Not like them cookies.
It's not them cookies.
Because if your first time is edibles, you ain't gonna have a good time.
No.
Nah.
So as a whole, what would you say it's like smoking weed with Pete Davidson? Because there's like a stereotype of like the stoner vibe in the media, but that's one thing, and then like actually smoking weed with someone is a completely different experience.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But Pete Davidson is a genius. He is a calculated genius. He knows exactly what he's doing. So smoking weed with a guy like that, who everybody thinks he's a stoner, no, because if you think about it, that's all people talk about. It's him.
Yeah,
because he knew what he was doing. I'm telling you, he knew what he was doing the whole time. He's a smart dude.
So he has the thruster. He has the thruster, the same thruster awareness. Different ways. People have it in different ways, but he can tap the left, right, back, forward, pivot. He knows how to tap it without going off the rails.
Yeah,
you can just do a little bit of an adjustment.
And even his off the rails is flyer than everybody else's off the rails. So it's just he a different, like, just a different guy, man. Different people do different things, like, and they do shit different. So, and he taught me how to do shit different, my way, not his, you see what I'm saying? So, weed. But hopefully this is not a podcast about doing drugs. It's just,
This is a podcast. This is a podcast talking about things and drugs. It's not it's never like we have to talk about this or this or this. I feel like it's an and, where if there's a direction that we can go, then we can go that direction. And then when that starts to feel stale,
I'm not the dude to say try the shit out. So you gotta do your own thing.
Yeah.
If weed ain't for you, it ain't for you. It's more weed for me. But wherever you feel like you reach to get where you got and where you at, then fine. If you're a billionaire and you just smoke 1 ounce of weed your whole life, God bless you. Niggas got different journeys.
Yeah.
But so I would never say try it out. No, you got to do it. If you feel the need to try it out, try it out. This all comes from personal experience.
The scene from King of Staten Island where you punch Pete in the face, I rewatched that for like the 11th time. I've seen the movie a couple times.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious scene.
It's a fun scene.
Is that so? When you guys were talking shit to each other before and you're like hyping each other up to fight, it feels like improv. Like it feels like you're just like fucking talking shit to each other in the moment.
It's 13 takes of shit talk. Judd Apatow was like, do it again. Do it again. Let's run it back. Let's do it again. Do it again. All right, from the top. I was sweating. So there's no script with that. You just got to kind of get into the joke. You got to commit to what's funny. And in the moment, that funny fight scene with Hulk hands on, me and Pete is a funny dude. I'm a funny dude. Funny dudes put shit together sometimes. It comes out great. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what that actually looks like when someone writes it out. When you get the script, does it literally say, you punch Pete Davidson in the face, talk shit, and then just bracket open whatever you want to do? Yeah.
There's rehearsals. There's auditions. And
because I'm new, I literally don't know anything.
When you're reading the script, I mean, I guess your job, especially if it's a comedy script, see where you can insert your funny. See where you could insert whatever will make the screen pop a little harder. What will make the scene pop a little harder. Screen pop off screen. But and reading comedy scripts, thank God, I kind of see where you could maneuver without fucking up the writer's idea. Because you don't want to fuck up the writer's idea with your little bullshit. So you got to kind of add on. Don't ever take away. Always add on. Make it funnier. Do your best to make it funnier with the words they already got. Don't ever take away one of the writer's words until they take it away. But add on some hot shit, then they go, yeah, that is kind of funny. I see it. We'll rewrite it that way. And that's how Blue Bloods. Speaking of which, I'm on that tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
I'm on
it. Where's that again? Where do people see that? CBS.
CBS. Okay. Yeah, Blue Bloods. I inserted myself in the script. I was supposed to get shot in the chest. I was supposed to be a one-time guest star to just help Donnie get through the rest of the fucking show, just to help Donnie move the story through. But something happened, man. I was making them laugh, and it was like, "Yo, these are better takes on on what this character's supposed to be." So the director, after 2 days of filming with me, was like, "Yeah, I fuck with him. We're gonna shoot you in the shoulder and bring you back." So I was like, "All right, cool." So the second episode is coming out tomorrow. This is my brought back episode. And then I didn't get shot in this one. So now feels like I'm pretty recurring. So I'll just be in episodes of Blue Bloods from time to time.
Hell yeah. Do you feel like, have most directors that you've worked with been open to riffing on shit and then keeping it in the script?
Yeah, because most of the shit I do is comedy. I'm a pretty comedic dude. I kind of like doing everything funny. Drama is fine. You know, action comedy is great, but suspense, blah, blah, blah. You know, but when you slated as the funny guy, they kind of let you do your thing. I mean, I'll read your script and read the script to the best of your ability. Like damn near memorize it and act it the way they wrote it. But then if there's a point in there where you go, I kind of want to pop more. I want people to remember me. But how can I do it without being an asshole to this person's, you know, body of work? I can only add on something great. So it's probably going to be a little bit, but it'll be the little bit that counts. Word economy. That's what I learned from all them late night motherfuckers. It's all about word economy. The little jokes. Don't try to flip it and make it something that's your own. It's not you. They hired you to read off these words. But if you can add on a little personality, do it. And that's what that's what's helped me get through all this shit pretty much.
See, this isn't a drug podcast. This is a thruster podcast because everything comes back to the thruster. Just like little, don't change up everything if you don't have to. But like before you just say fuck it and flip over the table. Just like give a little tap here, give a little tap there. Love tap up, down.
The taps. It's all the fuck because you want to succeed.
Yeah,
you know, you fail a lot. Shit. Put it to you like this. I failed doing drugs before I get on stage and do something professional. Okay, I'm supposed to be a professional. I shouldn't be high in front of all these people. But now that I am high in front of these people, I don't want to lose it all the way. So you better get your thrust game up. You better get your and make the point. Force yourself to make the point.
Yeah.
If you're going to put your mindset in another kind of mindset, you have to be able to still think. You got to still be able to think, nigga. That's the difference between, you know, the lazy pothead and the functioning pothead. I'm a function. I'm going to go to work because I'm a pothead who loves work. I'm not a guy that just sits on the couch all the time. I'm actually moving around these days, trying to figure shit out. And I'm still a terrible writer, so I'm still trying to work on that, trying to write better because I got a sketch out on Amy Schumer now. It's on Paramount Plus. I don't know when this comes out. By the time it comes out, it'll be out anyway. Paramount Plus, season 5, episode 4 of Inside Amy Schumer. I have a sketch.
And you drop clips on Instagram of
big
the
time
sketches.
I've been doing that all day.
At the Great Boy.
Yeah, right? At the Great Boy on Instagram. You can follow Amy Schumer. You can follow Monroe Martin because he's in the sketch, so it's up there on his page too. You know, I got a podcast, No Need for Apologies, with Dave Temple. That's our joint.
Hilarious.
It's on Gas Digital. We on YouTube. We finally got 6,000 followers. Took forever.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, we're at
the
6K.
grind.
So yeah, all the shit. So I'm doing everything.
So you suck at writing still. You feel like you still suck
like
at
I'm
writing.
a terrible writer.
And is this for shows? Is this for comedy?
For shows.
For shows.
Stand up, nah, I'm good. But I'm getting better always. But for shows, TV, and movies, trying to find the thing the translatable, getting from point A to point Z with storytelling. Christ Jesus, especially you want to tell a good story. Oh. So I shout out everybody in those Amy Schumer writers' rooms. I shout out everybody in the NBC Bupkis writers' room. Like, just man. I still feel like the dumb kid in the back, but I'm glad I'm in the classroom. But my God, I got a lot of learning.
It seems like that environment where you're writing for a show is where it would benefit you more to be a comic who knows how to build up a story and kind of like feed off the pauses.
All that shit helps, bro.
Yeah.
That's been helping a lot getting back on the stage because I know the timing and and passes and disc take pitches and how it's supposed to sound and all that. Just listening to all these great comedy writers in these rooms, man.
Let's go back.
Amy Schumer is damn near. She's like a teacher to me almost now.
Yeah.
Ever since I took her on, Amy Schumer is a teacher.
Teaches with writing, with what would you say is
just how to try to execute that premise bridge punchline style, because that's the formula. Premise, bridge, punchline.
Premise, bridge, punchline.
Premise, bridge, punchline. That's always been the algorithm for anything funny.
And that is repeating throughout the show.
In so many different ways. Just this comment did the wop, wop, wop. The way they just spin that algorithm into how it could be funny is insane to me.
No.
Like premise, bridge, punchline, bop, bop, bop. Those 3 steps and the way you're supposed to do it makes classics. And it's only here's the premise, here's the bridge to get to the punchline. Boom. And it can happen in scripts, it happens in scenes, it happens in sketch, it happens in improv, it happens, it's that you brought us here and you brought us there, and the whole way was great. That's the tough. But watching comedy writers who got comedy movies out, comedy shows, sketch shows, you see what the fuck it entails.
It's interesting because you mentioned jazz music, and it sounds like there's a parallel to music where you have the premise, bridge, punchline, then you have the intro, bridge, chorus. I played alto saxophone, jazz saxophone, jazz specifically for 5 or 6 years, and then just typical symphonic band shit leading up to that. But one of the kind of through lines to jazz was that you had to learn the rules before you could break them and do solos and shit like that. And it was one of my favorite things to do was to just take like a riff and then do a solo off of that, and like you kind of go back and forth with other people in the band, and at the end of practice where they're just like going in a circle, almost like if you've ever trained in like jujitsu or something in a gym, like you're just rolling with guys and it's like, all right, switch up, next partner, and you're just going back and forth with people. That element of jazz where you have the fundamentals, and the fundamentals give you the freedom to follow your instincts. I feel like people see the instincts of someone who's been doing it for 15 years and they assume like, oh, I could go off my instincts. But the reason that person does so well when they go off their instincts is because they have the fundamentals of over a decade that gives them the freedom to do that.
Absolutely. And that's why comedy's fun to me. I get to shed this shit. I know the joke. I know how the joke works. I know how it sounds. I know the timing of it. But what if we could change it a little bit and see if it can pipe it up a little bit more. I can get a bigger pop out of these people or some shit like that. Just like, but yeah, man, that's how I want to treat the artistry. Very silly and very rhythmical, very jazz, but very silly still. Soldier silly, just fun, but still
soldier,
intricate.
baby.
But still intricate with the writing, still intricate with the joke. You'll never see the joke coming. You'll never see it coming. You'll always laugh. We're gonna have a good time. If I find it's all that, but all in great comedy writing.
Yeah. That's
my dream, to be just a better comedy writer. And then, of course, on top of that, the side effect would be a marvelous performance in the craft that is jokes.
Why Was I Home Anyways? Your mom directed that. I watched it. I watched it the other day. Fucking hilarious. On Derek's YouTube channel. What is it like having your mom direct?
My mom supports
and do
my
something.
Shit. It makes the jokes way more easier to tell when you got a support system. My mom is my best friend in the goddamn world. So if she rallies behind me. Oh, that's an extra battery. That gives me so much extra power to keep going. And then now and then I'm on TV and I can pay for shit, and knock off bills that she might got. And it works out. If you support me, you goddamn right I'm gonna support you. So yeah. So it feels good. It feels real good to have that extra support system. Some people don't have their parents' support, but my folks, my dad came around and my mom supported me immediately, which is usually how it goes.
Yeah, dude, like I said, it was fucking hilarious. It worked when I've seen a lot of things on YouTube that just seem like awkward during the pandemic.
It was the pandemic, and I was like, "How?" It
worked though.
Yeah, I mean, I put the family in the garage or in the driveway. And I perform out the garage in the middle of the day because we can't be outside that long and all that horse shit. So, yeah, it was like it's just trying to do a comedy set at the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you think it helped having your family there to tell the jokes to, or do you think it made you not talk about some things that you may have talked to if it was an audience full of strangers?
It was a little bit of both. Because I was a little embarrassed to say some of the real shit.
At the end, I forgot what it was. There was you said like, "All right, I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm trying this out. Like, stay with me." It was I forget
One of
what it
them
was.
terrible jokes. But I hate, looking back, I hate the special now. I love that my mom directed it, but I hate my material. I always hate what I look like and how I sound and all that. But, and plus I had a big furry face because it was pandemic. Like, it was truly, we were all locked in the house. So I was like, all right. And then I went back to New York the day after that. I left back for New York, so I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. And you were part of the Michael Che comeback in New York when he was doing Off the Back of the Pickup Trucks.
We were pioneers.
Yeah.
The pioneer. That was the pioneer era. That was me, Mike, Rosebud, Dulce, Alex English, like a lot of SNL. You know, the people are pretty much famous now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I was hearing about
Petey, fucking Matt Richards, like I
was hearing about the drive-in shows across the country, all that shit. Didn't really hear a lot about the shows, you know, out the back of a pickup truck, which is like how else are you going to do it in New York City?
How it
you
started,
can't really,
though.
yeah.
All those drive-in shows and outdoor shows is because Michael Che did a show on the back of a pickup truck in the height of pandemic because he didn't want to be in the house no more. He did it in a parking lot. And people packed out the parking lot, socially distanced. It was the most genius thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. And I was like, I got to be a part of that. I just need to be a part of that right there. Yeah. So I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. You got to worry about me, but I'm 37 years old. I got to go back to New York City and try to live. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And lo and behold, thank God for all the TV and the movies that kept me floating through the whole quarantine because I had residual checks come in because they was still playing shit on the box. So I was still getting paid. So it was a weird time to where I could really perform at night for nothing because we weren't making shit. It was just who came out. Yeah. Some people bring your own bottle, you know, mostly free shows. We weren't making nothing to stand up that year. But there was no sweat off my back.
It was a unique time, too, though, because the comics were craving it and then the audience was also craving it, too. Like, I remember going to a show where we're sitting on top of a rooftop. It's freezing as fuck. Cold. Still funny, still having a good time. And there's a lot of acknowledgement from the comics saying that there must be something wrong with us because we're up here freezing our dicks off, just fucking trying to laugh. Mm-hmm. But those shows on a rooftop or like hearing someone do it in the street, Prospect Park or whatever, those were like, hopefully that never happens again.
I hope not.
But for people that didn't go to one of those shows, it's hard to describe like what it was like to be in the audience at one of those shows because it was like you were just so happy to hear something and the fact that it was also, you know, a lot of good material, just like being in the presence of an energy of people who are fired up to do something creative. As many sets that I watch online, as many concerts that I'm watching remote, like doing podcasts and shit, like finally going in person for the first time to see a comedy show. I remember there's almost like this fucking relief of just drinking whiskey, feeling warm on the inside, cold as fuck, you're laughing, and I'm like, wow, this feels fucking amazing right now.
It was it was a special time. It was a very special time, and I'm glad I was a part of it. I'm glad I didn't cower and stay home. I actually went out there and risked it all because I just wanted to be funny.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, there's people that had the same idea. What a beautiful city, New York. It just was like, God damn, I love this place.
I fucking love this place too.
It worked out. And it was like, fuck. In the end of the world, we out here on rooftops still trying to tell jokes. That shit crazy. And it wasn't just me. It was a lot of comics.
It was a lot of people.
There were a lot of comics. It was like, yeah, I would do it too. So.
Yeah, we could live without a lot of things, but comedy is one of those things that people will find a way to get to those things. I got to take a piss, but I'll be right back and we'll wrap up. Did you see the clip the other day on Twitter of this comedian Ariel Ellis getting a full beer thrown at her during a set?
I saw it.
Have you ever had to deal with something like that? And what do you think you would do in that moment? Because for people who haven't seen it, she picked it up and drank the rest of it, which was like incredible presence, just being like, fuck this, I'm gonna chug it. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I've had pennies thrown at me. Pennies thrown. A lot of verbal assault, but no, there's two sides.
Pennies. That's pennies fucking
from like, yo, you suck.
Like was it a handful of it? Were they like flinging it like
flinging
this?
Pennies at me. They were snapping them at me. I was at a show in Camden very, very long time ago. And they was throwing them from the balcony, so I couldn't even see them coming.
Jesus.
So it was wild. They was around.
Penny, those will leave bruises too if someone flings them hard.
You know, the whole thing is, now granted, the girl that did the thing and she got the beer thrown at her, God bless that it didn't hit her. I was happy it didn't hit her because the can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Her picking it up and drinking it is okay, but if she would have picked it up and did a joke and then drank it and did some more jokes and then ripped this motherfucker a new asshole for... Because, yeah, you tough. You pick it up and drink. That's fly. But to an extent, you a comedian, right? You just a bitch that picked up something and drank it. Now, I want to see how you really bounce back. Can you drink it and then start making jokes? Can you keep the crowd? Can you take this now awkward crowd because all these motherfuckers are on your side?
Yeah, I was like,
everybody's doing this and that, and the dude is probably still in there. No, if he gets kicked out, I hope he gets kicked out. Because that's some getting kicked out shit.
100%.
But it's not up now. Now that he's kicked out, I don't want to hear a set that you had. Nah, I want to see you do this. Because now the whole crowd want to see you do this. You the comedian. You done took the sip of beer. Now go on and make a fucking set. She's not a hero to me. She'd have been a hero to me if she would have told some jokes after.
The clip was only 60 seconds, so I don't know what she did after.
But now... That's what I want to see. What does she do after? Other than sipping a beer, incredibly badass, whatever the fuck. It'd be badass to me if you kept drinking it and start telling jokes. If you're going to go there, go the fuck all the way. Because comedian gets something thrown at him, blah, 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 blah. I just saw an innocent lady get something thrown at her. I didn't see the comedian part.
She may have told jokes after, I don't know.
Like, yeah.
But that was the entirety of the clip.
Yeah, and then the whole thing was Trump shit and bump shit. And it's usually the same shit.
Yeah.
It's a Trump joke. Trump's not even president no more. Tell better jokes. But it's like, but she got to learn that on her own, right? But for me, from an outsider looking in who happens to be a comic, yeah, sipping beer is one thing. But making a joke would be something.
Yeah, I think she said it was from a Q&A, which I've never been to a show where the comic was doing a Q&A.
Exactly.
And then obviously it's not her fault that she got the beard thrown at her. I'm not victim blaming, but like I feel like when you open it up for the audience to participate,
you open up to the
and
audience,
it's not just a quick, what do you do for work, but ask me entire questions.
You open a lane
that
for
could go
strangers.
a lot of ways. Yeah,
that's like letting the prison door open. You don't know what the fuck's gonna come out of there.
Yeah,
it's up to you to have material for the time you are slated. Do your fucking time, not of Q&A. You up there by yourself. Stop asking for help. That's my whole thing. It's you and the mic. That's it. Rappers, they get help because everybody knows the song they're about to sing, right? Or they got hype men up there. When you're doing comedy, it's you and a microphone. You up there by yourself. So prove to them why you're up there by yourself. So yeah, you get some shit thrown at you. You still got to own the stage. You ever see that clip where the dude got... audience member came up on stage, started swinging the mic stand at him and ducking punches and all this shit. And then they got him out of there. And the dude got on stage and was like, "This my motherfucking stage up here, boy." Crowd went fucking crazy. And he finished the set. But the dude was swinging a mic stand. He had to duck and dodge. He was getting shit thrown at him. And he made the moves and all this shit. And they got dude out. And the nigga got back on stage and was like, "Yeah, man, I own this up here."
So the comic picked up the mic stand and was using it.
No, the audience member was.
Oh, the audience member got the mic stand, like reached on stage.
Trying to use it on the comic. He was trying to use it on the comic, and the comic was maneuvering, dodging.
And the comic's like fucking slipping mic stands and
got him. And somebody jumped. The guy got him off stage, right? And then when he got off stage, he was outside. Nigga finished the show.
Yeah.
But he was talking about what happened, and then of course, he probably had to go outside and deal with that shit. But not while I'm on this mic, motherfucker. It was like, it was captivating.
Mm.
It's my stage, not yours. I'm the one dude that's up here with the mic. I'm the one lady that's up here with the mic. So yeah, throwing a beer, drinking it, fly. But if you would have kept going or the clip kept going, I want to see the real heroism.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, she got something thrown at her. Yeah, feel bad. She could have got hurt. She drank the beer. Okay, so she's not hurt. What the fuck she gonna do now? I want to see some fly shit.
So the fly shit would be jazz improv in the moment, going with like whatever the funny thing is that popped in your head, even if it's not funny, even if you're just like
what I
fucking
don't
thinking about
understand
it.
is like, what I don't really get with these new comics is like, you don't think if you can pull it out and do some jokes, the crowd ain't gonna see you even hotter, even doper, even more heroic? Yeah, they got their show fucked up by a strange patron, but it's up to the liner, the person going last, the motherfucker they here to see, to be a hero. Be what the fuck they paid for. You know, you got disrespected, but show me how much you love your art. Can you use your art to disrespect back? Can you use your shit to turn some bullshit into some funny shit? It's worth a try. The attempt means everything. So don't be a victim on the mic. This is why I watch all these soft-ass comics get on stage and be mad when they get heckled. Like, what the fuck? It's comedy, nigga. Figure it the fuck out. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with all y'all?
That's a rule, you know, rule number one of winning, or not even winning, but just holding your own in a verbal altercation. When if your brother's talking shit to you and you're 8 years old, one of the things that I learned very quickly is that me getting defensive only feeds the altercation for my brother's part.
Oh, he mad now.
So it's like, oh, you're being a soft ass bitch. Like fucking like all I said was this, and then your mom walks in and it looks like you were the one who started it and you're pissed off. And then it's just like, if you can flip that person's energy and not like fucking fire blast it back to them, but like you use it, you slip it, and you kind of like internalize something back and shoot it back at them.
That's called mastery. That's why comedy takes so long. That's mastery. You just can't up and do that. You see what I'm saying? Like the power of staying funny instead of picking anger is fucking mastery. That's what I'm trying to master. If it was something I had to go to China for and talk to the monks and meditate all day, how the fuck do you stay funny when you're supposed to be angry? When there's a fight supposed to break out, I'm supposed to throw hands, people are supposed to be mad and angry. Nah. If I can just figure out how to keep somehow flip it and throw it back on some kung fu shit and keep the crowd that I earned, keep the crowd that came in, bought tickets, that I keep them in here, and we find out this other victory together, that's comedy to me. So being that and here go the thing, sometimes it won't happen. I'm not saying that it's not a fairy tale, I'm telling you. Most of the time it won't. But it's those instances, those moments when what if it does? And you get them. You save a disaster from happening, right? With the power of your words.
And if
not being deep, not being inspirational, being fucking hilarious.
And so, if it doesn't work, no one remembers.
And
there's no, like, if someone throws a beer at you and you try something and the audience, first of all, the audience is on your side immediately. They're on the side of the person on stage because everyone's like, oh, and then they're just waiting for the veil to be pierced for the tension. And then you just fucking, again, like, I don't know what the fuck I would do. I don't have the repetitions to do that. But if I was doing a live podcast or something and someone threw a Four Loko at my head, in that moment, you have the adrenaline, you have the sweat, you have, do I stick to what I was just discussing with my guest? Do I address the Four Loko? Do I look at the, do I get angry immediately? Cause that's their first intention. Like, fuck this bitch. Like, someone throw this motherfucker out right now. Or do I hold the Four Loko, you know, like maybe it hits me, maybe it bounces off. I pick it up and you kind of just like sit there for a sec, feel the nervous energy. People are like,
the whole room is going, what's he going to do? Captain, my fucking captain.
And then that's your moment to turn and say whatever it is that you say. And if it doesn't work, no one gives a fuck.
And here go me. Most of the time it will not. But my God, the one time it does, it'll be burnt into people's memories for the rest of their life. Yeah, I gotta go see that motherfucker again. Yeah, I gotta go see her again. My God, you should have seen. It's so quick. Like, people like that kind of. Yeah. So, in showmanship is great.
Yeah.
When you can master it, when you can see what nobody else can see, and you go for it, and you bring people with you. So yeah, it's
What do you think of the way that Chris Rock sat in the pocket after the whole Will Smith thing? Because I know every comedian's like talked about this beaten with a dead horse, whatever the fuck the saying is, but it genuinely, like, seeing that situation and talking about the beer is making me think about now, like, not just the reaction of Chris Rock, but what it must feel like to be slapped in the face, and then that moment of, okay, how the next thing I say is either going to make it more tense, it's going to ease the tension, I'm going to say nothing, like it's going to cut to a commercial. Like, what do you think, having just spoken about that clip and now thinking back on what Chris Rock did? Now that,
and the comic that got a beer thrown at her, she's not hosting the Oscars. She's not. Let's just knock that out. Now, true story, I was at the Cellar last night, and Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Louis C.K. were on stage talking about this. And Chris Rock got a lot of praise that I admired, because he really did turn the other cheek in front of the whole world. And now he's a hero, while none of us really give a fuck about Will. So he had to play the long game. And sometimes that might be the mastery. See what I'm saying? Because Chris Rock was explaining that he said some fly shit. He was like, your wife, Will, admitted to everybody that she fucked her son's best friend. To everybody. Yeah. And I didn't touch it once. I left it out because I love you. I love Jada. I said some nice shit to keep it going. But nigga, that's what you pick, and then you go and bully the little guy in the room and then smack me in front of everybody? Like, come on, bro. And Will Smith is like, what, 60 pounds heavier than him. This is what Chris Rock saw. So, yeah, it was like, the fuck, Will? But I think Chris Rock doing it now with Dave Chappelle helping him out, and it's a joke now, and they're going on tour, right? And they'll probably talk about it, and everybody's cheering Chris back. So Chris kind of did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like
he really did the right thing, because everybody's on Chris' side.
Yeah, and obviously, hosting the Oscars is a different story, different vibe, different setting. You're not in a club doing a set. You're on TV in this like tuxedo, like,
but you will get slapped by Will Smith.
Now people are gonna be fucking taking like Muay Thai lessons before they host the Oscars, just to like fucking slip some shit.
This year or next February. Let's see how the Oscars going.
But yeah, I saw Chris Rock at Jones Beach Theater a few months back, and he actually didn't address it at all. Kevin Hart went on after him, did like 2 minutes on it, and looking back on the show right after his set, I was like, oh fuck, like, I was looking forward to hearing what he had to say about it. And then about a week later, it hit me where it's like, this is the move, because Will Smith is nothing to him. Like, he could have used that as clickbait to get people to come to his show. Like, I want to talk about Will Smith and, get people to, which he doesn't even need, but not addressing it as all, to me, that was more gangster
move.
Like, someone slaps
people
you.
Beg him to do it now. Oh, please, Chris. Not only are they hyped to see him, they begging for this nigga to tell, and he just sitting in it. Like, this is great, ain't it? So yeah, no, I think looking back, Chris turned his cheek. In the long run, made him look. He's more of a hero for it in the long run. Yeah. Right then and there, we was like, "Come on, Chris, what the fuck?" But in that, I saw a bunch of comics get together and shit on Will Smith. I didn't think that was possible, because Will Smith was America's sweetheart. But then, when you disrespect ours, we go, fuck. It's cool to see how comics unify and come together and tell jokes.
That, to me, was the day where Will Smith stopped being a comedian, because it'll say comedian in his Wikipedia bio, like actor, comedian. But with that move, he separated himself from people who actually perform comedy for a living, because that's not a reaction.
He's just an actor.
Yeah.
That's all. Will Smith, an actor.
A true comic would not experience a joke where someone's attempting to say something funny and they're writing for the Oscars, so you have limitations too, and then react in a way where, even if it's about your wife, like, that's what a comedian does. And he just separate, and to me, people will think whatever they want, but to me, he's like, it's the comedian actor kind of space that he was chilling in, like going back and forth with like funny roles, acting. Like he's a straight up actor now. Comedians have a different cloth. They're cut from something different. They don't do things that react to the attempt to be funny, the attempt to make jokes, whether it's funny or not, with a physical altercation. You're like, this dude's fucking trying something. He's performing. This is a performance.
And it was a light joke. That's the thing was. The joke was not heavy at all. It didn't merit you standing up and trying to embarrass a man in front of fucking a billion people. Like, what are you doing? But no, it was Chris Rock wins. And I'm a Chris Rock fan, so of course I took his side.
Me too.
Because I watch comedy. Even though we love Will, but come on, it's Chris. But Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K., giving Chris his flowers for that shit was pretty phenomenal to see yesterday. So it's pretty dope. It was a very funny show. Very funny. Them three on stage together is it's a dynamite show. They was really, really throwing them jokes out there. Big time. Dave Chappelle was holding court, of course. And Chris and Louis was coming in with like these real fun little quick like sniper shots. It was dope.
Was it like a bumping mics thing with three people, or what was it? That kind of vibe where you're going back and forth?
And they was just talking. Dave would talk. Louis come up with something. Chris come, so fly. Everybody had, it was good. There was a 3 mic setup yesterday, and everybody was just doing what they do, and people were excited because they got 3 goats on stage.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I can't. That's fucking exhilarating to see all 3 of them at the same time.
Same time. I was like I was down there going, "Oh, this is a good show. Oh, this is a really good show." I'm like, I like what's going on right now because collectively, it's like. It's like 21 specials on stage. Like through all of them, I was like 21 fucking specials on stage.
If this was an alternate universe and I was at that show last night, I could go back in time and I looked at my ticket that I paid $30 for, and I saw 3 of them on stage.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is fucking like I should have paid $500 for this ticket
from 3 dudes.
Oh yeah,
so like whoa, like
it's like 80 years of fucking experience on there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So,
yeah, it's like it's like time traveling with fucking jokes and mashing them all together and then seeing the result of that in real time.
Yeah, man. It was pretty dope. It was pretty cool to watch.
So you are 38 years old?
38.
About a decade older than me. Is there any, do you feel like you've come across any old man wisdom as we end off, like something that's hit you recently that you could impart on my dumb but getting slightly less dumb brain?
Don't let the pussy control you.
Don't let the pussy control you.
Because I know a woman. Women can be extremely distracting.
They can be.
So you gotta love them. I'll never tell you to not love them. But if you have a goal, make sure you get chicks that admire that and don't want to interrupt. And because they can. And women, they can do it. And we let them. So don't let the pussy control you. Go to work every day. Just try to do something. Just try to do something. Even, working out in the morning. All that shit you hear. But it's all true. You should probably do some push-ups in the morning. Get up, eat some oatmeal. Focus. Try to have a goal set. Do something. But for the most part, 10 years. I don't know. You don't do comedy. You don't do stand-up, right? You do stand-up?
No, I just do podcasting, then I have a full-time job that
I'll
pays the
just
bills.
tell you what.
And I'm trying to slowly move it just towards podcasting exclusively.
Well, in your lane, right, prolific shit, get on stage. Get the fuck out of my car, man. It's like Patrice said, I ain't got nothing for nobody. Those 3 things help me write what you write. Do it. Perform it. Keep it moving, man. Swim and eat.
I like the 3 Ps. No pussy, or not no pussy. Don't let the pussy control.
Don't let it control.
I'm not on Hinge anymore. I have a girlfriend, so I'm not as wild. Yeah, it's Tinder, a crack. It's crack.
Tinder, meeting up, hanging out. Yeah. She coming here, you going over there. Uber money, all that. Getting them home, fucking make it. It's expensive.
Dude, getting done with work and then
Dates,
having
food.
to get ready for a date, dropping like $30 on
If
an
you
Uber.
the dude to
yeah.
buy condoms, the fucking, you got to clean sheets all the time. Like you got to do, because you're focused on getting her there, getting her into the crib.
Get tested.
All that-
Plan B.
all
Get
that
tested again.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, don't let the pussy control you. I'm not saying no pussy. I don't know. No nut November, all that horse shit. I don't work like that. Just don't let it
Nut when you want.
your life.
Not when you want. Don't let the pussy control. Prolific and perform.
Yeah, just be focused on something. Have the girls love you. Or have the girl that you got. That's the one that's a support system. But yeah, focus. It's all because it's about focus. And man, oh man, the greatest thing I'd love to focus on is women sometimes. So, but you can't all the time because you won't get shit done. You won't.
Oh yeah, you gotta give it your focus. Take a step back. Get back to that main thing that's gonna drive the car.
It's going to drive
And
the car.
I will now get the fuck out of your car.
Because she'll leave
Yeah.
if you lose focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you ain't, yeah.
And women don't want you to focus on them all the time.
They don't.
If you're not focused on something besides them,
Yeah.
then that will start to get creepy, and they'll be like, "So
And
what is
then
your
you
thing?"
A fuck boy.
Yeah,
And now
exactly.
you're just a fuck boy in the streets.
No.
So you see what I'm saying? So yeah. So just, just monitor all the P's. Your pussy, your prolificness, and your performance, and whatever you do. So
Derek Gaines, thank you so much
and
for
talk to God, need your vegetables. As I say on my podcast, no need for apologies.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro. Good time. Quick talk. Fun times. Wonderful times.
3 P's. Remember, Derek Gaines at the Great Boy. No need for apologies. YouTube, special, TV, clips, get all that shit.
All that shit.